Arey, Talia, Talia, come on. There should be some whistles too. Go ahead. Woo! Hi, Tara. Hi, Durjay. Yeah, absolutely. Pictures. We need to unveil the book. Kar do. Okay. We need to unveil the book. We shall just do the unveil.
Look center, look here. तारा जी मैम एक यहाँ पे सेंटर में बोल रही हूँ सेंटर थोड़ा क्लोज आ जाएगा
Give it up for Pocketful Story 3.0.
तारा मैम सेंटर तारा यो बोल सेंटर
Humongous. So it must have taken you like
It took me a lot of time, but the thing is that this is what I do. I read a lot. So when these stories come in, I was like, send me the next batch, send me the next batch. And the only way to select these stories is that if you read a story and you remember it after a couple of weeks, it has to be in the book.
Yeah, I managed to sneak peek and they're fun. Okay, Tara, you tell me what's your thought about the entire thing, Pocketful of Stories 3.0.
Pocketful of Stories actually has most of the stories, if not all of them, have something in each of them that will, I think everybody of all age groups can resonate with. I can speak for myself. I've been going through these stories for a while, and I just read one of Durjoy's actually that was really, really interesting, resonated with me. It talks about, I don't know if Durjoy can explain better if it's a personal story about himself or his relationship, but I think all of us have been through a very tough time in this pandemic, and there's one line in one of his stories that talks about how he found love for the second time in COVID. And I thought that was very sweet, very true for so many of us. And there are 400 stories like that that so many entrants have written so beautifully. So I really enjoyed reading it, and I urge so many of you to please do the same.
Wow, and that's absolutely a feel good. Okay, Durjoy. ये मुझे भी जानना है, ये सबको जानना है. Tell us about your love story.
I mean, so when I was writing my first book, so I had never been truly in love. I had been in love, but there were relationships. But when I was writing my first book, I said that this has to be like a best love story of all time. So I was looking for a girl to base my character on, and Avantika, the character in my first book, was a friend's friend. And
Okay.
Facebook wasn't there, but Orkut was there. So Orkut is now
those
a
days.
defunct platform, but Avantika as a person was a friends, and I stumbled on her profile. I was like, yeah, she's hot. So let's just base my character on her. What happened was that the book came out and she started reading the books and she was like, somehow this character feels like me. And she started reading and I had 5 books on Avantika, and one day she messaged me on Facebook that, I think that I feel that the character that you're writing on is me, and should we meet? I was like, yeah, why not? I mean, this is the best day of my life. And then she contacted me, and then she was like, I've been dating you in my head for the last 5 years.
Wow.
Should we start
That's
dating in
something.
real? And I was like, yeah, I've also been doing that for the last 5 years. So that's
Yeah.
how I started.
Very cool, very cool. That was really sweet. You're already smiling, blushing, talking about her.
Isn't that a Matika right there? That's so sweet.
Okay, so Tara, I want to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how romantic are you? A, and the part B is, what is the most hardcore romantic thing OTT you have done, and you are like, wow, Tara, like, wow.
I feel like anyone who knows me, I have a very small friend circle, but anybody that knows me knows that since I was pre-teen or teen, love has been a very, very important part of my life. It's a priority in my life. I'm a Scorpio, and Scorpios are known to be very passionate, very much in love with love, and the idea of it, but also the reality of it. And I think it's always been as important, if not more, to me than family, than friendships, other relationships, and of course the work that I do. So for me, it's always been number one, and that's why I resonate so much with all of these love stories that are in the book. And what was your second question? That
The most, hardcore OTT, love move, expression.
Well, I don't know if it's a hardcore move or anything like that, but I think on a day-to-day basis, I think with the line of work that I'm a part of, it can really take up all of your time if you allow it to, and take up a lot of your soul and a lot of your energy. So it is very hard, not only in my line of work, but in, I'm sure, every line of work, to take out that time in this mundane world that we live in today. But I think just prioritizing it on an everyday basis, that, hang on a second, it's not just the job that matters or the friendships that matter, but literally prioritizing love every day and driving hours and hours or taking a flight out and meeting a loved one, for me, is the most important thing.
Wow, fantastic. The joy. मैं बार बार से I'm just meeting and he's like, okay, अब क्या पूछ रही है? That's just a bit of drama, okay. Okay, but the question is, what is the binding factor in your relationship? What do you think?
I think this is something that I've always maintained, that all relationships are conversation. You know, if no matter whether your relationship is young or old, etc., if you can still sit down and talk to that person and tell them everything that's going on about you. So there's this movie called Shall We Dance by Richard Gere, and I don't know who the actress was, but they were like, we all need our stories to be witnessed. You know, we are all, she's a heroine in real, but in our stories, we are heroes and we are heroines, and we want people to know our story, and we want someone to witness it. You just need to find one person in your life who's that audience, that I can tell you that this is what happened in my day, and they would say, okay, I'm interested in it, tell me about it.
So true. That's very important, conversation. And it's very important to spend that kind of time where the person is ready to listen to your story. So true. Okay, Tara, what are the top 3 things you actually noticed for the first time if you are like romantically looking at somebody?
I think the most important thing that I look for in a person is a sense of humor. I think we live in a very serious world, and to be able to laugh at yourself, with your partner is so, so important. I think we take everything too seriously. So for me, sense of humor is the most important thing. 3 things you said. So I think to just be self-aware, I think that's a really important thing for me personally. And the other thing would just be, I think I would need to be with someone who loves love as much as I do.
Oh, nice. Good. First part, second part, and now the third one, Pocketful of Stories 3.0. What's the differentiation from 1 to 3?
So I think this has been the most difficult of them all, because when we started off, we were like, you know, the world has shut down. You know, no one is going to colleges, no one is going to schools, no one is going to offices. Romance is dead. Like, there's a pause on it. So we are a little skeptical about 3.0. But then we started it anyway. And then we realized that everything might have shut down, but romance still finds a way. And that's why we named it, hashtag Romance Unlocked, because we realized that, everything has come to a standstill, but romance has found its, slight tributaries to flow through people's minds, etc. And we found out that, romance sort of, so we all talk about old school romance, where people don't meet and yet fall in love. And we found out that a lot of people are falling in love despite not meeting each other. People went through their entire life cycle of falling in love, being in love and getting their heart broken in spite of not meeting each other.
Yeah.
So that's what we realized. And that is what we thought was like a drawback came out to be like a positive sort of a thing where people were having like entire full-fledged relationships without having meeting each other.
So true. I'm so glad, that's been covered, because the pandemic past 2-3 years when we were locked up at home, depending with family, with your partners, with your wives, boyfriends, girlfriend, whatever situation. But we have never been like that. Like weekend relationships were suddenly like Monday to Friday, Saturday, and you are like, discovering more and more stuff about them. Good, bad, interesting, fun, playful, everything. So very interesting. So true. Okay, so talking about romance, what do you like the most about the third edition of Pocketful of Stories?
So this is the first time that I've been a part of this endeavor with Engage and with Durjoy. I just feel like the honesty in the stories really stood out for me. I think there's not just one story or two stories or three stories I can think of that really stuck with me. I think there's one specific story that Durjoy wrote, there's something else that a girl wrote that really, really stayed with me. I think it's just the honesty of what everyone's gone through over the span of the pandemic and perhaps before, if some of these were written before as well. I just think they're very interesting, very individualistic and really unique, and each one is as exciting as the next.
What was the toughest part of shortlisting?
See, one thing you realize is that every first-time writer writes about his life. So all of these stories were deeply personal.
Okay.
The first story of any debut writer, it's about himself, right? And they write about their love story, they write about what they're going through. So when I was reading through these stories, it was really painful to keep those stories out, because knowing that this is this person's own love story, this is what they have gone through. That was the most painful part. I mean, the construction of sentences, the story content is secondary, but rejecting, because when you fall in love, you realize, and when you fall in love, you know that your love story is the best in the world. So subject that to someone that, okay, we are not putting that in the book is painful.
So true. Okay, we'll do a fun rapid fire now. Are we ready?
I am never ready for a rapid fire, but okay.
Will I get a background sound for this rapid fire? No. Like any dan-ta-dan. No. Okay, fine. Dan-ta-dan, presenting the rapid fire. Are you ready? Are you guys ready? ऐसे होता है क्या? Are you guys ready? Sweet. Thank you. Okay, here we go. What does love mean to you?
Love is everything to me. It is my number one priority.
Love, conversation and silence.
Conversation
And silence. If you can be in that silence with someone for a really long time.
I love silence.
Because you want to talk, you're an RJ.
अरे I have heard so many times, यार चुप बैठेगी तो ये बैठ जाए यार. Okay, यार बस थोड़ी देर इज्जत नहीं है मेरी ना क्योंकि मैं बोल रही हूँ. Anyway, how did you manage to keep the spark alive during the pandemic?
Like I said, have a laugh every day, all day. That's the only thing that can get you through the tough times.
By not keeping anything to myself. Just by, exposing more of yourself to the other person.
So sweet. Wow. Tell us about your hashtag Romance Unlocked moment.
Romance unlocked moment. Well, I'm a very lucky girl. Almost every day is the romance unlocked moment.
Wow. Touch it.
Romance Unlocked was when she told me that hashtag I'm the girl of your dreams, and then I responded by writing a book which was titled The Girl of My Dreams.
Woo! Okay, what love advice would you like to give to the youngsters?
I would like to think I'm part of the youngsters, so I don't know if I should be giving advice to anyone, but I don't know, just stay true to yourself somehow, and at the same time, understand each other better and stick it out when the times are tough. These are very, very fast times, quick times. Everything is ever changing, but if you can stick it out through the tough times, only the best times lie ahead.
Because these are fast times, love might seem like a multiple choice question where you're swiping through, but it's actually an essay type question. You have to spend some time.
That's true. Okay, what is playful romance for you?
Playful romance. You know, I love this term. When I started my association with Engage, I heard about this playful romance all the time, and I've been thinking about it. Pocketful of Stories actually has so much about playful romance. It's reinstated what that really means for me. Like I said, I would like to think of myself as a millennial and a youngster, so playful romance is very important to me. It's just about being spontaneous, being yourself, and having fun every day.
Playful romance is, so the common conception is, the perception is that it only exists at the start of the relationship, but having been in a relationship for so long, I think it's the little moments, the little unexpected moments in the day that you experience with a partner, which are new for both of you. I think that's what it means to me.
Wow, that was absolutely fantastic, very heartfelt. One question I'm going to apni taraf se. Okay, what is your all-time, both of you, all-time favorite romantic track which has been with you, playful romantic track, been with you for the longest, and maybe you have a memory with that. Yeah, track. So, anyone, top of the heap, let's do this, top of the heap. Yeah, I know that happens.
There is a song in Guru which is called "Eh Harate Ashiki," where there is this line say "Jhooto ke Shahenshah," and I write books, so I write lies all the time. So I really connect with this that a girl falls in love and calls me "Jhooto ke Shahenshah," and yet I'm agreeing to be in love with you, despite you being like a world's best liar, etc.
Whoa, okay.
Like, I've written 20 books and all of these are lies. That is.
Okay, after thinking for like 2 minutes, I think, so there's a very old song, it's from the 50s. It's sung by a very, very well-known singer called Frank Sinatra. It's called Strangers in the Night. It's a song that means a lot to me because something very special happened for me when that song was playing.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you both
Thank
of you.
you.
And,
Thank you.
anything you want to ask, guys? Yeah, you can read your favorite parts from the.
Okay guys, so I'm just going to read one. We won't take up too much of your time. So this is a story that Durjoy has written that I thought was very, very sweet. So it says, the lockdown was our nightmare. Married for years, we were running away. But now we didn't have a choice. To survive, we had to understand each other. And that's when it happened for us. The second time. Love.
So now I'll read one from Nidhi. It's please don't go by how I read it. It's a good story. Our story is an adventurous tale of two losers stuck together in a salsa class. I did step on his feet quite a lot. He dropped me more than a few times and we did share some laughs. The times we looked silly, he picked me again and I continued to hold on to him. For the magic to happen at love and dance, one has to let one hearts have some fun, even at the risk of embarrassing oneself.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Do you guys have any questions? Do you want to ask something, say something, express something? Anyone? You want to say? Okay, cool. Let me walk up to you with the mic.
Hi Tara, hi Durjoy. My name is Alpesh. So my question is, what was while shortlisting the stories entries, what was the most surprising story you have ever discovered while, getting multiple entries?
It's hard to pick one, and it would be unfair to pick one because, I could have made 10 books out of this.
Yeah.
We had 35,000 entries. I could have. So whenever someone asks us what are the best stories, there are no best stories.
No, I am asking surprising.
So-
You must be as an unusual story and something I've not even heard. It's very unusual and out of the cottage kind of a story.
So now I'm an old person now. Yeah. So I've been married for quite a few years and have a kid, etc. So every story that I read from a young person, it sounds surprising to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, are people still falling in love like this?
Yeah.
So a lot of stories in this are surprising, and as I said, it would be very unfair for me to pick one and say this is the most surprising story. No, you read all of them, and it doesn't matter whether you're a young person or an old person like me.
Yeah.
You'll find surprising stories.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tara.
Thank you.
Thank you, Durjoy.
Yo, you.
Tara ji, Tara ji, what are the similarities in this story? You look into your boyfriend, especially Aadhar. You can answer it, please.
Can you move to the next question, please? Thank you. Thank you so much. You can be seated. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, my name is Sai. My question is, what does self-love mean to you? Because all relationships, all love, they are based on how much you love yourself. That is the foundation of all relationships. So everyone has a different definition of self-love. So I want to hear both of your thoughts on that. Thank you.
That's a really lovely question, so I think it's very important to address a question like that in today's day and age. I think so many people in the youth, and I can speak for the youth because I'm a part of it, I think the most important thing that we should be focusing on, since we are speaking about very important conversations like mental health, self-love, I think for me has been a learning process. It's something all of us are learning about ourselves and how we can do that for ourselves on a day-to-day basis. Because like you said, I don't think it's possible to love another unless you truly love yourself. It's an ongoing process. I don't think we can ever fully love ourselves the way we idealistically want to. But I think all of us have insecurities, we all have fears, and we'd be foolish to pretend that we don't. But I think if you're self-aware and you're aware of your existing insecurities, if you slowly work towards them and do the things, just take 5 minutes out of your day or 10 minutes out of your day and practice whatever it is that helps you love yourself better, I think you can be a better lover, listener, partner to anybody in your life, not just a romantic relationship. It could be to a family member, it could be to a child, it could be to a sibling. But I think it's very important that we have this conversation and better help the youth to understand ourselves better, because then we can understand each other better.
Perfect. Anyone else? Okay then. Okay. We really hope you enjoyed the entire event. I hope you loved the conversation. And there is a newly launched Click and Brush perfume, pen and pocket perfumes. You can check that out. Please don't forget to stop by Engage Corners for some customization activities. Thank you everyone for joining us today. But before that, before we break, for all of us are aware about KK Sir's demise, I would request all of you to stand up and we hold 1 minute silence for that eternal voice. ऐसा कोई नहीं है जिसे याद नहीं है, यादें. Let's go. Thank you. 1 minute silence, please. Thank you so much. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you so much, thank you. And you can request, I request everybody to join the high tea. Thank you so much.